This is Made for More Living with Johnny Jennings, powered by eXp Realty. Online at madeformoreliving.com.
So Matt, guess what's happening this Friday? Or not this Friday, on August 29th. It's on a Thursday.
I would assume you're doing something crazy. You're always up to something.
I am always up to something. It's the 5th anniversary of something super incredible.
The 5th anniversary. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
All right.
I'm on the edge of my seat.
It's the 5th anniversary of the Mix and Mingle networking event that happens in Sacramento.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it.
The Mix and Mingle sounds like a dating app.
That does sound like a dating app, yeah.
The Mix, say it again?
Mix and Mingle.
Mix and Mingle. So it's not just about mixing, but you're also mingling.
Yeah, you're getting to hang out with people. Yeah.
5th anniversary, so it's been around for a while.
Yeah, and so that's actually why we have Trevor Fong in the studio today. Trevor Fong's an insurance agent, and he's actually the founder of the Mix and Mingle. But I've been riding his coattails for the last 4 years or so. But anyways, Trevor, you mind giving us a little background what the Mix and Mingle is and how it just got started?
Yeah, so about 8 years ago when I opened my business, it was really tough to grow. It was really hard for me to grow my business. Just I didn't know a lot of people. I had a very small network, probably less than 20 people.
And what kind of business would this be?
Insurance agency.
Okay.
Just really wanted to grow it. And I went to a mixer when I opened the first month in and got super nervous. I was at some hotel downtown. Ended up going next door to a bar to take a shot of Fireball. That's what I drank 8 years ago. And went back into the mixer, passed out about 20 business cards, and went home feeling pretty good. Back then, that Fireball...
Hold on a second. We got to rewind just a minute. So you went into the mixer. You're feeling nervous, uncomfortable, because I would assume you're somewhat of an introvert.
Yeah,
right?
I was super shy.
So you decided to go to the bar and find some energies, get some confidence.
Liquid courage.
Liquid courage.
I had no other choice at the time, okay? I didn't show up to a lot of events. That was my first event I'd ever gone to, like outside of maybe one wedding.
And what were you doing
hilarious.
before you started your business?
I was retail. I was in retail. I was an
Okay.
assistant manager in a retail setting.
Okay.
So awesome. You got the liquid courage. You went next door, handed out 20 business cards.
And, I collected so many business cards, I was able the next day to send some texts, emails, and say, hey, nice to meet you. I met a few cool people that I still talk to today. And that was the start. I did that once a month for years. And then finally I realized that I was like, these events, they're pretty small, but I could probably do one bigger. I love going to weddings. I'd been to a few more weddings since then. And I really enjoyed the networking social aspect of having a drink and, talking about your business, talking about yourself, getting to know people.
Yeah.
So 2019 came around, like July. I texted a club owner I knew. I said, hey, if I bring 100 people to your venue, will you give me some space or let me rent it out? He said, sure, if you bring 100, it's no problem. And in August 2019, so 5 years ago, we had about 250 to 300 show up and crushed it.
Oh, nice.
And then from there, it was just like it took off. Every month we were doing it for a while. And that really made it so I never had to pick up my phone again to call anyone.
How did you market an event like that? How did you get 250 people to show up to what would be, was it a business networking event?
Yeah.
Or what? How did you
Business networking, advertised as business networking. But I think what I always skip, I never really told this side do it because I think people want to hear the glamour side of just doing an event, a lot of people showing up. From 2016 to 19, I attended almost one event, 2 events a month. And I really just made sure to follow that suit of pass out 5, 10, 20 business cards, get to know 5 people every day, and really build a connection. So when I used to collect business cards, when I go to events, I still have every business card I've ever collected since. I'll show them all to you at one point. On the back of the card, though, when I had a little more time to be a little more personable, I used to write down their favorite drink. And that, to me, was like just how I remembered them. Like, it could be a vodka soda, could be a shot of tequila or a whiskey or something cool.
Yeah.
And that really
That's
is how I
smart.
got to new people.
That's smart.
Yeah, and so that's what... So when I met Trevor, it was...
Do you remember Johnny's favorite drink?
Don't actually.
It's in the business card book.
It's
in the business card book.
I don't see Johnny drink that much, to be honest. So that's the hard
It's
part.
chocolate milk, just to let you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, and so when I met Trevor, it was actually at one of these events, and I showed up because I'd heard great things. Because normally when I thought mixer, like a networking event, it was people in like an office setting, just kind of hanging out, talking about themselves. It was boring. It was dull.
Sure.
And I went to one at the Mix, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is totally different than any other event I'd ever been to.
How was it different?
And it was different because they had a DJ playing music. It was in a club atmosphere, and it was just packed. Like, it wasn't like slow. It wasn't dreary. Sometimes it's almost depressing going to some of these mixers, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm not making fun of them, but like these people have tried so hard. They've invited everybody they know. They're trying. They have like balloons, or they have little themes, and they're trying to, or they're raising money for a good cause. But the energy, the vibe of the room is just very subdued. And then when you go to like Trevor's, it was totally different. It was popular. It was like there were people lining up in front of his banners taking photos. It felt like I was meeting a celebrity when I met Trevor for the first time. And at that point, I was like, okay, how can I recreate that? Because instead of me going to 2, 3, 4 different events a month, how can I get everybody to come to me? And that's essentially what Trevor did. And so we had a mutual friend, and she connected me with Trevor. And this was actually in 2020. And then we ended up launching my own little networking event, and then it kind of just grew from there.
So my question would be, at an event like that, usually, like you said, at traditional networking events, it's somewhat of an older demographic, and like you said, it's a little bit more subdued. At an event like this, it seems like it's a party.
It is like, how would you describe it?
It's like a club atmosphere, like you said, right? Music and drinks, and is there real networking going on? Is there real conversations about business, or how would you say that it's a productive event that I would go to, and I feel like it would grow my networking and my business?
When I look at the guest count, or I see the guests that come, a lot of them are newer to business. If you're really established in your business, you probably don't need to come to these, and that's just just happens naturally.
Yeah.
But we look at our guest, and we look at frequency of return rate, which I think we have like a 50% return of current guests, which means we put on a good program, but also the new blood that comes in, the new people that come in that really want to grow their business or grow their social circle. And from these events, I've officiated weddings from it. I've seen people do partnerships and grow their teams. I've seen Johnny meet people and grow his Made for More, whether it's happened as a result of the mixer. I think it's just more the activity of being there. Like, Johnny's team has grown substantially since I met him.
Yeah.
And it may not be a direct result of the mix and mingle, but him being there and showing up is certainly showcases these entrepreneurs' commitment to growing.
So obviously, it's not free to put on an event like this, right?
Yeah, I mean, thanks to Johnny, we cover the cost. We get a few sponsors, and
it's free to attend.
It's free to attend.
Okay. But it's not free for us.
Right.
Yeah. And so I also think it depends on the mixer, on the quality of the event. So, like, for example, it's totally different. Like, the last couple times we've had a guy out there hand rolling cigars. For years we've had a person, Vosswood, who does permanent jewelry, and so he's there doing that. We've had
tattoo artists.
We've had tattoo artists. We've had the 3D photo booths.
Right.
Where people can do that. Like, there's just a lot of fun things happening.
And we've seen those guys get opportunity from other places. Like, when we brought in the photo booth, other of our partner in either the venues or the other businesses have hired them. So we know business is conducted. We don't track it like a BNI. I think that's where we've done things well. Is we don't really we do have a measuring stick for guest count, but I don't track every deal there. It would be impossible for us to know what every transaction happens.
Well, I don't play golf, but I've heard that a lot of business and transactions get done on the golf course because it's a great way to, relax, let your guard down a little bit, have some fun, right?
Yeah.
And connect in a way that you wouldn't usually have across from a conference table or something like that, right? In an office setting. Yeah. And this seems to be similar. It's a little bit more of a modern day golf course where you're relaxing, you're hanging out, you're having drinks, you're enjoying some music, and you just let your guard down a little bit and have some real authentic conversations where you get to know people, and that's where the true networking comes into play, right?
And it's really cool when so there's the people that typically come, like the repeat guests, and then they bring new people, like, hey, you should come with us. Yeah. And it's those moments where that's where it's cool, because, like, doing this for years now, there's certain people who it's like, oh, so great to see you, and now instead of us having to set up individual coffee dates or just call them individually, it's all in one room, and now I'm also meeting new people through those people. And so, anyways, it's a totally different event. Like if you're thinking about going, it's happening again on August 29th, 8 o'clock at the Mix, and just register and show up early.
And for people like yourself who are a little bit more introvert and they think of, oh my gosh, walking into a room of 250 people, that seems really intimidated. I'm kind of a shyer person, but I know I need to network and connect with other people. Yeah. What would be your encouragement for them?
I think number one is do what I did. That's why it's at the bar. There's an opportunity there to
go straight to the bar.
Yeah, go straight to the bar and pick your poison. But I think, on a side note, I had a guest register that I met at my first mixer. I haven't seen her since then. And I remember her because we work in the same building. So she happened to be an office over from me. And she signed up and I was like, hey, did you sign up for my event? I haven't seen you since, the first one. And she's like, yeah, I have a new friend coming to town. She wants to meet people. So I don't know where to take her, but I think your event would be a great place. So that made me feel pretty good about it. But I know with them, they're super shy. So the advice is probably go straight to the bar, come find me. I've put my name on it pretty heavily so that way guests know who I am. Mm-hmm. And the first thing I do, I think it's just natural reaction now, is if a guest comes up to me, I'll naturally just in my head try to pair with some people like, hey, meet this group. They'll take good care of you. Cool. And I think that just comes from knowing our guests so well.
You bring up an interesting point about the introverts, though. And we'll
because you are an introvert as well, John.
Yeah, we'll cover this. We'll cover this after the break. Back after this.
Mike, don't you just love people who go over the top and make sure you're taken care of and feel great afterwards? Well, listen to this. Ben, he wanted to buy a new home, but he needed to sell his current home first. So he reached out to Johnny Jennings and the Tom Daves team with Made for More Realty, and they made sure that he was taken care of. They talked to the builder to hold his new home until his current home was sold. And because of Johnny Jennings' reputation, the builder said, absolutely no problem. We're going to do that for you. Johnny sold Ben's home quickly and negotiated a rent back for Ben, giving him plenty of time to seamlessly move into his new home.
Yeah, and that's the cool thing about Johnny Jennings and the Tom Daves team at Made for More Realty. They have a full staff dedicated to making your home selling process the easiest and most efficient it can be. That's why they've been voted the #1 team in Roseville for the last 3 years. Plus, they sell your home on average 27% faster and for a 3% higher price. Expect more, get more with Johnny Jennings and the Tom Daves team at Made for More Realty, brokered by eXp Realty. Just Google Made for More Realty today to get more for your home. License number 581837.